All Out predictions. AEW All Out takes place this Saturday from Toronto, Canada. They will be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on pay-per-view. You can find that on Amazon, but they are now on HBO Max for the first time ever. You can also find it wherever pay-per-view is found. You can watch it on traditional pay-per-view as well as online pay-per-view. This will, like I said, start at 3 p.m. due to WrestlePalooza. Our WrestlePalooza picks are already in and on the channel. Make sure you give that a check out when you're done. And when you do that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this card. This is the 10-match card, and we're going to go through this as quickly as possible. AEW All Out kicks off with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus FTR. Cope and Christian are taking on FTR after a blood feud that started with Adam Copeland and FTR dating back to All Out, All In in Texas earlier this year when they had a trios match and FTR turned on their former friend and partner, Adam Copeland. They have attacked Cope several times to the point where Edge and Christian, aka Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, have finally reunited. They had their first match back just a little at the last pay-per-view, I believe. They kicked off that show. They're kicking off this show. And Edge and Christian, I'm going to continue to call them Edge and Christian. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage have had a storied career. They're one of the best tag teams of all time. And this is the first time they have tagged together in Toronto in over 20 years. And they're going up against FTR. Now this, FTR is one of the best tag teams in the world. It's my favorite modern tag team. It goes them, and then I don't even know where it goes after that. Young Bucks are on the list, but they're lower. There's so many. FTR stands so much higher above everybody else. They're 10-time champions in 7 different companies. 7-star FTR. Now, as much as I love FTR, I'm giving this match, my prediction goes Adam Copeland, Christian Cage for the win, where Adam Copeland pins Dax Hardwood. I'm predicting that. Adam Copeland pins Dax Hardwood to start off the show. I'm just glad to see this feud come to an end and see what's next for Edge and Christian. I really wish, though, this had a little bit more on the line other than the fact they're in their hometown. This would have been a really cool opportunity to do a TLC match if they had put the tag straps on Cope and Christian, but they didn't. I'm really glad they didn't. But, again, predicting Adam Copeland, Edge and Christian to defeat FTR to start off the show. Up next, continuing in the tag team action, a match that was just set this Wednesday, an AEW tag team ladders match, a 4-way for the AEW tag team championships between the current champions Brodito of Brody King and Bandito versus the Young Bucks, Jet Speed, and the Don Callis family. Now, if you're wanting a spots match, this match is for you. You're going to see flips, dives, jumping off the ladder, going through tables. I expect the fucking works for this match. The Young Bucks, as much as they have changed as characters, their action in the ring has not. They are going to ball out on this ladders match. Brodito and the shit that they've been pulling off, like working together where Brody launches Bandito. Holy shit. Like that. This is going to be a banger. This is going to be a spot heavy match. So if you don't like spots, you don't like high spots, you don't like fast moving action, this might not be for you. The one tag team that I'm glad they're on the card, the Don Callis family, which is Alexander. What is this? Fuck it. The Don Callis family. Now, those guys, they're the weak link of this fight, But shit, they're gonna go, and you're gonna see Alexander ball out and Hechicero do all kinds of cool flips. It's gonna be fun. So I don't expect this to be fight of the night, but it's gonna be, if you're in the high spots, this is gonna be the match for you. I'm picking Brodito to retain. Up next, a coffin match between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. I am a huge Darby Allin fan, dating back to his first appearance. That guy, something about him, his look, his action. This is going to be a fun, bloody match. I expect it to be filthy. This is basically the hardcore match of the show. And it ends with somebody going in a coffin. This is a specialty that Darby has had in AEW. Though he has lost them in the past, I think this feud is been going on for so long with the Death Riders, where now Darby Allin is. It's going to be a 4-on-1 show where Darby Allin gets the shit beat out of him, does all kinds of cool spots. I expect barbed wire. I expect glass. I expect tables. I expect Darby Allin closing the coffin lid on Jon Moxley. Darby Allin for the win. Up next, we're going with the AEW TBS Championship between Mercedes Moné and Riho. This is the one match on the card I honestly do not give a shit about. And I hate to be that way, but Riho has not looked good since returning. She's not been on American television in way over a year. She just showed up, popped into a match, and now we have Mercedes Moné versus Riho. Riho is the original women's champion. She's fun, but she's not for everybody. Mercedes Moné, though, can have a great match with a brown paper bag. So I'm curious to see how this match goes. I'm picking Mercedes Moné. Up next, a 4-way for the Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander versus Tekla. Now, Tekla has been insane since making her debut a couple months ago. The Toxic Spotter has been impressive. Now, I knew nothing about Tekla coming in to her AEW debut, and she's been impressive. You know, her work with Queen Aminata dating back to this week's match it's been fun. I like her work. Chris Statlander's been an AEW staple since showing up. Chris puts in the fucking work. I would love to see Chris Statlander become a champion someday. Don't think it's going to be from this match. Jamie Hayter returning. Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm have been putting on clinics since they started working together a few years ago. Now, Jamie Hayter did suffer from a couple injuries and has been out for a while. But since returning, she's looked great. Her feud with Toni Storm continues to be exciting. What more can you say about timeless Toni Storm than what's already been said? Toni Storm, with this timeless character, is one of the best acts in wrestling today. It's one of my favorites. I love the character, and it's rare because usually I'm not a huge character guy, but Toni Storm as Marilyn Monroe, as a 1950s actress in modern day, has been awesome. Her Hollywood ending match with Mariah May, chef's kiss. Greatest women match of all time. Toni Storm's had this belt for a long time. They are clearly making her the woman. I don't think it's time for them to pull that out yet. I don't know who's going to beat her. It may be one of these women, but I don't think it's tonight. Toni Storm wins the 4-way. Up next, the return of Eddie Kingston in a singles match versus Big Bill. Eddie Kingston's been out for 19 months. His last time he was in AEW was April of last year. His knee was fucked. He had multiple surgeries, and he's been working hard. We've not saw Eddie Kingston on television. It's crazy that we're going in to a return match on pay-per-view. That shows you how much they know Eddie Kingston can bring it. They know Eddie Kingston is a dog, man. He's got that fight in him. He brings that to the ring every time. I'm expecting to see a shredded Eddie Kingston for the first time in his career. He's been working with Cesar Bernoni. That's really the only time you saw him is pop up on his videos. Eddie Kingston works the mic as great as anybody in the game. I don't know if he's as good as CM Punk, but fuck, he's close, man. So Eddie Kingston versus Big Bill. This is a return match. Eddie Kingston's winning this one. I don't know what to say because we haven't saw it. There's literally been no build to this match other than the fact that Big Bill called him out on television. Eddie Kingston accepted via social media, which is very rare for Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston for the win. Up next, match 7. We're on set. We've made it over halfway through this card, which means we're over halfway through this video. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe this video and hit that notifications bell. Match 7, the Hurt Syndicate, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet and Gates of Agony. This is going to be a meat on meat match. You're going to have big bodies hitting up against each other. This is going to be fun. I usually am not a fan of trios matches, but Gates of Agony, and honestly, if this was just a tag team match, I would be just as excited to see Hurt Syndicate versus Gates of Agony. But throw in Ricochet into this, you're going to have Ricochet doing the flips, the sails, the dives, and then Gates of Agony and Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP just kind of beating the shit out of each other. This is a match that Hurt Syndicate has been wanting for a while. They've been wanting to work with GOA, and they finally got it. I think this is a great building step to bring those trios titles back to relevancy. If they're ever going to be relevant, this is your chance. This is your last shot, Ricochet and Gates of Agony, because what you're doing with the Ops is not working. So it's time, in my opinion, to move that title off. Hurt Syndicate respects Ricochet and Gates of Agony. If Wrestling Math tells us anything, because Hurt Syndicate took the win and come out strong on Dynamite this Wednesday, I'm picking Ricochet, Gates of Agony to win this match. Up next, we got a tables and tacks match. Whatever the fuck that is. It's Mark Briscoe's Crazy Concoction versus MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. He's better than you, and you know it. And Mark Briscoe is the fucking man. Mark Briscoe is my favorite baby face in the company versus going up against my favorite heel in the company. So I'm really excited for this match. MJF's been off television pretty much since his wedding in action. He showed up and he's been on the show, but he hasn't had a match, which isn't uncommon for Max at all. Max is a pay-per-view ready performer. He's always on. He's always there. So I am super, super excited for this match. MJF asked to work with Mark Briscoe. I thought the last couple things they did on TV would be it. Nah, they're now on pay-per-view in a tax and tables match. I want to say it's definitely the first in AEW. I don't know if it's the first of its kind, but Mark Briscoe in a hardcore match, sign me up any fucking day. I love me some Briscoes. As much as I hate to say it, well, I don't hate to say it, I'm excited to say it. I may be wrong on this one. I'm going Mark Briscoe for the win. He needs this more than MJF. MJF doesn't have to be on television as much right now. He's making a movie. Mark Briscoe needs some momentum, and this is his fucking shot. This is his time. Mark Briscoe over MJF in the tables and tacks match. Our last two matches we're going to talk about are for the AEW Unified Championship and the main event World Championship. So let's start with the AEW Unified Championship between Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Mascara Dorada. Ooh, those are some names. Okada and Takeshita, both members of the Don Callis family, not getting along at all. Takeshita just won the G1 Classic. Okada, greatest tournament wrestler of all time. Mascara Dorada Great luchador. This is going to be a fun match. I see Takeshita carrying this match, though. Okada's been great in AEW. Well, let me phrase it. He hasn't been great in AEW. He's been good in AEW, but he's had a couple great matches. Okada is one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers of all time, but it's like something's not clicking with him in AEW, in my opinion. I think it's time to move the title to Takeshita. Now, I don't know if they're wanting to pull that one yet. I'm honestly shocked they're doing this match this early. I thought they would hold out and let Takeshita win the New Japan Heavyweight Championship, and we would get something big in December, which we still might. This might be the start of something that goes through the rest of the year between Okada and Takeshita. If so, I'm perfectly fine with that. I know I'm counting Dorada out. He's the extra man in this match. He's the flips in this match. I would love to see Takeshita take this. I've talked myself out of it. Okada for the win. He's going to retain, and then in a couple months we're going to have title versus title from Tokyo Dome. I'm probably making this up. I hope it's Takeshita. I think it's going to be Okada. That way we get Okada versus Takeshita later this year in Tokyo Dome. We've made it to the main event, our final match of the evening. AEW World Heavyweight Champion Hangman Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher. Now, there are some stipulations. If the Don Callis family interferes at all with this match, Kyle Fletcher will be disqualified and stripped of his TNT championship. Not normally a fan of champion versus champion matches. Like, I wasn't huge on board with the idea of it. I love the match. I just don't like champion versus champion. It was cool when it was Okada versus Kenny because they unified the championship. They clearly see Kyle Fletcher as the next big guy, and I do too. I think he's going to be carrying this company for a long time. He's young. He's athletic. He puts on great matches. But it's not time. It's not time. It's Hangman Adam Page's time. Going Hangman Adam Page for the championship, and here's why. Hangman is just getting going after getting that title at All In. And that train's not over. That ride's not over, especially with the fact that there are not... He's literally the only babyface champion on the men's side right now. AEW is a heels-friendly company, especially with the title. But you need a babyface to carry that company, especially during these battles right now with WWE. Hangman is your guy. Hangman brings it every time. He just keeps expanding his repertoire. In my opinion, what clicked for Hangman was earlier this year in Cincinnati. I was at that match. He had a Texas death match against Christopher Daniels. And ever since then, it's been match after match. It really cemented it to me was when Hangman and Will Ospreay had that great fucking 5-star match for the Owen Hart Championship, which led Adam Page to then beat Jon Moxley. I'm picking Hangman Adam Page over Kyle Fletcher. Now, Kyle Fletcher will be an AEW champion in the next 2 years, but he will not be that today. He will carry this TNT championship for a long time. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw him get the unified title and carry that for a long ass time. There's so many feuds with the Don Callis family because Kyle Fletcher is clearly the guy. So the fact that the Don Callis family holds the unified title and the TNT title, that feud's got to bust at some point. And I would love to see Kyle Fletcher versus Don Callis' original Don Callis family guy and Takeshita in like a year for the unified title. That would be sick. That's my picks. Let me see your picks down in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe to this YouTube video. Hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, enjoy the pay-per-views this weekend. It's going to be a long day on Saturday. I'm going to start my day with AEW All Out, and you should too.